Hey History, welcome to Fun Fact Friday. So I've got a couple real good ones for you today. So for starters, the name Tiffany is actually a medieval name from the 12th century, but no medieval, no writer could use it for historical or fantasy fiction because it looks too modern. But Tiffany is actually an abbreviation for Theophania. A couple other things that were fads back in the day that we definitely don't believe. Vikings were clean, had complex democratic legal systems, respected women, had free-form rap battles, and had child support payments. Native Americans had a trade network that stretched from Canada to Peru, and they built sacred mounds bigger than the pyramids of Giza. Ancient Egyptians had circular saws, debt cards, and eye surgery. Iron Age India had stone telescopes, air conditioning, and the number 0. Romans had accurate maps detailing vacation travel times along with a star rating for hotels along the way, fast food restaurants, Swiss Army knives, black soldiers in Brittany, which is northern France, traded with China, and the soldiers wrote thank you notes when their parents sent them underwear in the mail. Also, people in medieval Europe did take baths. Romans also had vending machines, automated puppet plays, doors that opened to the sounds of horns when you lit a fire in front of them, and working steam engines, all of which were invented by the same guy, Hero of Alexandria. Triboulet, a jester for King Louis XII and Francis I, may have been one of history's most clever. Finally, he was eventually sentenced to death for making fun of the wrong people, but he was allowed to choose the way he would die. So he chose to die of old age and was released. Hitler's nephew, William Hitler, wrote an article in 1939 entitled Why I Hate My Uncle, and it was published in Look magazine. Another fun fact, there are 5 living descendants of the living relations of Adolf Hitler. They weren't his descendants, they were descendants of his nephew, and they have all agreed to never marry and never have children because they want the bloodline to end. They don't want anybody else to ever be related to Hitler. In ancient Rome and in ancient Egypt, lipstick was an indicator of social status, and so both men and women wore it to show that they were upper class. In ancient Rome, when Emperor Nero began to go crazy, he would stage long singing performances in which the audience would not be allowed to leave. Women would give birth during these performances because they couldn't leave, and men would fake their deaths in hopes of being carried out so that they could get away. In 1978, a man in Melbourne, Australia, had a shotgun and held a cafe hostage until his mother turned up in her nightgown and hit him over the head with her handbag. He gave himself up soon after. The reflex that causes people to sneeze while looking at the sun, if you've ever done that, is called autosomal dominant compelling helio-ophthalmic outburst syndrome, which abbreviates to ACHOO, or achoo. And then, last one for today, despite being dead for over a year, the famous author of murder mysteries, Agatha Christie, saved a baby's life in 1977. Her novel, The Pale Horse, described thallium poisoning so well that a nurse who'd been reading it was able to diagnose a sick 1-year-old who doctors could not figure out what was wrong with the child. The baby was immediately tested for thallium poisoning. They found traces of it, doctors changed treatments, and her life was saved by an old murder mystery novel. So, hope you enjoyed. This has been your Fun Fact Friday. Have a great weekend.